we're gonna get it, you know, when it's hard in the league, but getting a comfortable win. How did that feel knowing that the whole league?
Well, I mean, wasn't that comfortable going into halftime, and then in the second half, you know, when you hold a team to 50 points, that gives you some comfort. But you know, we scored 70, and the ball movement tonight, and obviously, when you get 37 assists, you got to make some shots, and we did that tonight. I loved our defensive intensity to start the game and set the tone for us. And they went zone, and we slowed down a little bit. But then in the second half, we picked it back up. I told the guys we got to get stops so we can keep them out of the zone. And even if we are playing against the zone, we got to just keep the pace up. You know, pace doesn't necessarily mean transition. We can still play with pace in the half court. That's our DNA, and I thought we did a much better job in the second half, and it gave us a bit of a cushion.
Looking at Cam, talking before the game about the league, he was like, well, I'll get there. How good do you feel like he was tonight to start? I mean, 4 for 4 from 3.
I still think it's going to take him some time. You know, he only played 17 tonight. I didn't want to put him back out there. We got to build up his endurance to get him to, you know, play 27, 28 minutes comfortably. And then, you know, hope that he can build that up to, you know, the low 30s, which is what we're aiming for. But to see that ball come off of his hands as easy as it did tonight was pretty cool. And when he's making shots like that, it opens it up for everybody else. You could see Mikal slashing, Torrey slashing. Chris was getting in the paint, and a lot of it is just because Cam is out there drawing so much attention. So everybody's, you know, happy to see him healthy. That's the most important thing is to try to keep our guys as healthy as possible. It's hard because we play in a contact sport and we play with a great deal of force, but it's just good to see him out there running around and doing what he loves.
You had said before about how, you know, putting the ball in his hand, letting him make plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, back-to-back assists for 3 to put the 8-1 up, and then they didn't get the single digit.
Yeah.
How big is that? Just even though it's a small thing.
I just think it's good when it happens organically, where we don't have to choreograph it. He and Mikal playing with the ball, playing out of what we do. I think we become a more dangerous team when teams don't know when it's going to happen. The way we play, you pretty much know when Chris and Book are going to make plays because we run a lot of stuff for them. But with Mikal and Cam, to be able to let those guys play out of our offense and create on their own, I think is going to help us become a better team on the offensive end.
Bonnie was another really good night for Fizz with everything he does, the deep seals. How'd you like this event?
Just the intensity that he plays with, it gives everybody energy. He's going after shots. He's going after loose balls. You know, he's 6'8", and he's down there playing against guys that are 6'11", 7 feet tall, and you can't tell. He's just a diligent worker. He's physical. The guys love playing with him. And I love the assist that he had under the basket tonight. You know, he's getting more comfortable playing in the pocket. And he's been so used to diving and getting all the way to the basket. And the way that NBA teams run their defenses now, the low man is coming to take that guy out, and you got to be able to facilitate that pass under the basket or to the second side.
Coach, does it feel like Dario Saric is looking as confident as you've seen him post-injury?
I hope so. I hope he feels that way. It looks that way, but I hope he feels that way. Anytime you're coming off of that type of injury, you know, we've heard anywhere from a year and a half to 2 years before you start to feel like yourself again. And we're at that point where he should be moving into that area where he's not even thinking about it anymore and just playing natural, instinctive basketball. He's had the last few games, he's getting the ball and taking off in transition. And tonight he tried to dunk one, but I think the rim moved, or I won't mess with that. But he's starting to get back to that kind of, you know, reckless, somewhat chaotic style that he can play, but he can do it under control. He just looks like a warrior out there when he's knocking down threes, attacking the paint, finding guys, setting screens. You know, we try not to put a boundary around his creativity. And I'm hopeful that he can just keep progressing, because I think we can, you know, use him as a weapon, especially when teams go big against us. We feel like his shooting, his defense, his creativity is going to be a weapon for us.
Did you go into the season maybe having that expectation then that maybe it wouldn't be till the second half of the year where you really were getting like the Dario Saric?
Yeah, I just didn't know. I think it's different for different guys. I mean, if you listen to all the medical information, you know, it can take up to 2 years before a guy gets back to himself. Now guys come back, you know, sometimes in a year, and they just gut through it. We had an open mind about it. I thought it was really important for him when he went and played with his national team. It kind of got the rust off a little bit, and then he came back and played preseason, and he got off to a bit of a slow start, and he wasn't playing much. So that probably held him back. But we're hopeful that, you know, he's turning a corner and he can continue to progress.
Looking at him playing with Jock, how do you like that?
I mean, we like it. It's, you know, two guys that can, you know, pick and pop and knock down shots. They both can play DHO. Dario's probably a better facilitator, but that doesn't mean Jock can't. And they both can rebound, you know, and they're not slow, you know. So we feel like we have two physical guys that if DA and Biz are having a tough time, we can throw those guys out there and feel like we can still spread the floor out. That's the toughest part about playing two bigs. Sometimes it can get a bit crowded in the paint. With those two guys, we don't necessarily have to play in a crowded paint.
Are you intentionally putting Dario next to a five? Get more familiar as a player?
I mean, somewhat, some of it is intention, some of it is just where we are. Kevin's been on me. Kevin's on me about all kinds of stuff, but he's been wanting me to play Dario at the five more. I haven't, just because I haven't. I mean, Biz has been so good for us at that position, and I think we can throw Dario out there and let him play 4 or 5, and he's comfortable in either position. But we've just been in this, you know, position where I've had to do stuff just because of where we are. But he's comfortable in either spot.
There was about the young lady here, the Wish Foundation.
Yeah.
Facility this morning. What was that like for you? And what you met at the facility?
Yeah.
Her being part of that.
Brianna, you know, she's a beautiful young girl, 17 years old, from Delaware, and she wanted to meet Book, and she got a chance to come to practice. And anytime you can be a part of putting a smile on a child's face, a child to me, like she's like my kid's age. So I have a soft spot for any kid, but especially the kids from Make-A-Wish that come to games, come to practices. And I don't think she stopped smiling all day from the time we saw her at practice this morning. She's just been beaming. And you just feel so blessed that you can be a part of someone's life. Those kids have been through so much. And a shout out to everybody with Make-A-Wish Foundation, Phoenix Children's Hospital, St. Jude's, all these hospitals and organizations that do so much for these kids and families who are struggling with these horrible diseases. And it's a touching thing for me, because I've had a kid go through that, and I understand how hard that can be on a family. It can be really hard on the child. And so when you see a kid come through and smiling, and, you know, it lets you know that there's a lot of goodness in this world. And we saw it this morning and tonight in Brianna's face.
Tori mentioned earlier about the shoot around, how he went to back game the other way and the shot at the ball, and we kind of prophesizing tonight, you know, going 7. So what did you see in the ways he impacted the game?
Look, we wouldn't be in this position if we didn't have Tori. That's a fact. He doesn't let shot making or missing affect his energy. He's the same guy every day. He and Mikhail guard the toughest guys. He finds a way to impact the game. And that's a sign of a heady basketball player. And he takes it personally when he doesn't play well. You know, he doesn't, you know, necessarily feel like he's letting himself down. He feels like he's letting the team down. And I just enjoy guys that know how to affect the game even when they're not scoring, and he's, you know, type A for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dario, we were talking in here, maybe it's different for you, but it seems like you're as comfortable as you've been, you know, just physically since the injury. Do you feel that way right now? Because it looks like you're moving well.
Maybe I feel good, you know. Of course, sometimes takes a time. I don't know, it's really hard, you know, what happened, like how I kind of like started to move a little bit better, or that kind of stuff is like really described. I think I was moving well before, but like maybe didn't show very well. So, but I feel more comfortable, you know. I think guys trust me. I think coach trusts me more. So I kind of like feel like good out there on the court, feeling like free more, let's say, you know, maybe it was in my head, you know, I don't know, but like try to do the best as I can every time. So, you know, sometimes things change like at a certain time, you know what I mean?
That, it must have been hard this year, not getting the chances to play, like you were saying, you thought you were feeling good, but didn't really get a chance to get out there on the court. How has it changed now for you, feeling like in the locker room, you feel more just a part of the team, or have you always felt like?
Yeah, of course, when you play like more minutes, of course, you like feel like more you're a part of the team, and you don't get the minutes, you always going kind of got a rough time, you know. I think not just me, I think like everybody, but I was trying to stay focused, you know, work on my game every day, stay positive, you know, wait for my chance, you know. A couple guys get injured, you know, I got the chance to play, you know, and start to play. So it's hard to describe, but you need to be like positive all the time, you know, kind of like forget what's going on, work hard every day, and, you know, wait for your chance, you know, next man up.
When you come back from a serious knee injury, what's the hardest thing to get back? Is it jumping? Is it twisting? Is it shooting? What's been the hardest thing?
I don't know. For me, like I never was like fastest player on the court. I never was like guy who was jumping highest in everybody. So I was like kind of, I know what is my like power, what is my tools, you know, to operate down there. You know, I think when the first was like really I was scared, you know, to going in the contact in the beginning, you know, especially this summer. But right now I feel like good, you know, maybe I was feeling good, you know, all the time, you know, coming back of the injury, I was feeling like slim. I was feeling like good all the time. I never had like any like kind of like deep down. I was feeling like I couldn't get back out of that. So I was like trying positive all the time, even, you know, when it was beginning of the injury, even it was like, you know, end of the healing process.
Coaches played you next to another big like Wiz or Jock a lot. Do you feel like that's like setting up to play against the bigger teams? You know, in terms of that outcome?
But I don't know, you know, basketball is like beautiful sport, you know. Maybe you can go 4 smalls, 5 smalls, maybe you can go with 2 bigs, 3 bigs, you know, like all other teams across the league play differently, you know. And in the end, you know, a lot of teams kind of comes to those switching part on the end, you know. That's the most important. We have like long and tall wings, you know, who can like switch and guard the ball and be good on a low post-up defense. So it's hard. I think it's on a coach how he gonna adjust on the games, you know, or he gonna go tall to attack the smaller team, or he gonna go with 2 bigs, you know, against 2 bigs. I don't know. It's about the coach, you know. I think, but it's a good for team to have like couple of those options to play differently in every situation, in every moment what comes, you know, what we come to in playoff.
Coach was joking that he said he thought the rim moved on your dunk there. What you see on that play?
I think there's the last time probably I would try to go dunk in that situation. I will stick with my shot pump fakes and maybe, you know, go try the corner, get the foul or something, you know. I was a little bit tired at that moment, but, you know, in this situation, I would like go differently now, maybe Eurostep or something different. Yeah, but I thought maybe in this situation, Biz gonna hold the guy a little bit more and longer to give him some time, but you know, he forget on his brother. On the day one, yeah, I told him on the bench, you should have dunked that. He said, yeah, I should, but you know what it is.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We had the shot going early, just maybe just a look to those who look to. There's always something like every shot you feel like you're going to go. How big would it look to be?
Oh, they're big. First play was kind of drawn up, so I knew that one was kind of could come my way. And from there, just kind of got it rolling a little bit, but they all felt pretty good.
Curious, just, you mentioned fatigue from the last game, how much I think you feel tonight as far as that, as far as your conditions?
I'm getting better. Less minutes today, but I'm getting better. I think there was a little bit of pace in those early minutes, and I felt good, very good.
What is that like to be in that zone early in the game? I mean, I can see maybe it happen in the third quarter when it's right after the game. How does that feel?
Feels good. Get to get out there and make some shots. But I just kind of feel like I'm doing my job at the end of the day. I like to say you can't get too high with the highs, too low with the lows. Shooting. Some of them feel great, don't go in. Some of them feel a little off, go in. But you make over half of them, and they think you're pretty darn good, right? So just got to stick with it.
The stretch, they got it down to 8. We created 2 threes. Mikhail and Chris. This is like, so happy for you to be able to do that, but you know how much that helps the team out. How much are you enjoying that opportunity to be able to now to get, because we got hurt early and we didn't really get to see that. How much do you enjoy that part?
A lot, and I still think there's so much more room for me to kind of impact that side of the game. I think as I continue to get my legs under me and continue to get back in the flow of things, I think I'll continue to add that into what I'm doing on the court.
Some of those makes early in the game were some of your guys' more fundamental stuff slipped out under. Does that help the rhythm of the offense even more when you guys are just running your core stuff and it's working?
Yeah, for sure. It's stuff that we know we can do. It's stuff that we can go to. We understand reads and stuff off of every play call, and everybody's just on the same page. So the organization's at a lot higher level than when we're in a little bit more of a scramble.
You had the baseline one too. Is that one where you feel the space you have and then you're head, you're like, it's a good night tonight?
Yep, exactly. And you got a guy like Chris Paul on your team and guys around us on the court that can shoot, finish around the basket, make plays. Like you see Mikhail, his playmaking has changed exponentially, since his earlier years. But you got guys like that, it's hard to guard. There's a lot to worry about. And so sometimes I just sneak around and find an easy one.
Take it back with one hand.
No, I wanted him to. I thought Plumlee was going to jump. I came in a little hot, though. But I was ready for some contact. That's why I came in so hot. He kind of bailed out the way, and I said, "Oh, yeah." I was gonna hang onto the rim, but I just felt like I had too much momentum, so I aborted that mission and tried to stick the landing as graceful as I could. I don't know if I did that though.
You made the right probably players, just
I didn't want to do one of them things where you slip off the rim and then you're trying to land on your back. So I tried to finesse it, but I no harm, no foul. Live to see another play. Yeah, I took a decent one right there, but I feel I'm fine. Part of the game. I can't have my mouth guard in.
How has it been knowing what Dario's been through to get back to this stage? How's it been watching him kind of string some of these performances?
And Dario can hoop, man. He does a lot of everything, and you can rely on him to score, distribute, and he just plays with the flow that we like to play with. So when he's out there, no matter the group, he can always make an impact on the game. Sometimes he's a little bit more of a distributor. Sometimes he's more of a scorer. He can shoot, he can rebound. So that's vintage Dario right there.
Guy kind of building up throughout the season. Josh Okogie wasn't really playing when you were on the court
Right.
last, and you watched it, happen as he kind of grew into his own this season. What element does he bring to this team that is different than usual?
Well, his athleticism is extremely high level, but also kind of different, and it's fun to watch because just some of the things he does is, I say, a little unorthodox. Some of those tip ins, they're just he just floats in the air for a little bit extra, longer than everybody else. And he's been shooting the ball at a high level. He can get to the basket, he draws fouls, he can guard, tons of positions, keep guys out of the paint, block shots. What did he do? Block a shot with 2 hands today and just grab it off the guy? Like, come on now, that's different. So what he's able to bring to the team, first of all, he's able to bring it, whether he's playing 5 minutes or 30 minutes, you don't necessarily need to get warm and into the flow of the game. You can just impact the game immediately. But he just also has a great spirit about him that when he gets in the game, energy goes up.
It's like about a week ago that nothing was going right and that you guys might never win a game again. And now it looks like.
That's you guys talking.
Well, tell me, did it feel that bad a week ago?
No.
Does it feel bad?
No, it's the NBA. You weather storms. It's life. You weather storms. Things don't always go our way. We've found that out over the past couple of years. And I don't mean you tuck tail and run and sell the farm and hide away forever. You just keep going, stick with what we do. Like I said, we have a lot of confidence in our group and the guys that we roll out there, top to bottom. So you just figure we stick with what we're doing. We know we've done it before. We can get back on that track. And it's not saying that we've done anything yet. We're still fighting our way, through the Western Conference, through the league, and we still have so much more to do. So it's not like we're even, oh, look, we can do it. No, we're still going to keep our foot on the gas and try to carve out some wins.
Okay, I know you know what the deal is with the minutes. Is it still hard to come out from 6
I was a little tired this time, but you just got to trust the process sometimes, man. I would have loved to sit out there and fire it up a couple more. But I 18 minutes, I got a good run in, got some good pace, seeing some things on the offensive and defensive ends that I, just want to see in general, go and navigating ball screens, navigating how we guard, navigating our offensive plays, getting into some of those sets that we just talked about, and getting comfortable in those, just kind of adding overall to just feeling comfortable again back on the court.
When you got 12 points in the first couple of minutes, you start thinking about big numbers? Maybe not on the minutes restriction.
Yeah, minute restriction kind of strikes, those hopes and dreams a little bit. But for me, like I said, I'm just really focused on playing the right way. There's still some things I really got to clean up, especially overall, some laps on the defensive end where I'm kind of just caught in no man's land. And even some stuff offensively where I feel like I can grow and add more. So I kind of just focus on those things and enjoying it. Like I told you guys a million times, when you're out for a long time, big part of you just enjoys playing basketball again.
Busy passed 1,000 career blocks the other night, added another 5 tonight. What makes him so special?
Well, you got to subtract one of them because here a couple of years ago, I went up for a layup and he blocked it, but it was goaltending and they didn't call it. So in my mind, I'm gonna subtract one, but he's still over 1,000 nonetheless. Man, when you have somebody like him in the game and you can just be a little bit more aggressive, funnel people to the paint and know that he's going to block the shot or really make it tough, that's such a luxury to have. And not every team has that. So talk about a guy that, we all love playing with. Another guy that doesn't need to be necessarily in the flow of the game. You put him in, he instant impact.
It's really, when you were out, you see ways that Torrey improved, your athletes, and now you're back and started with him. His shot's not falling tonight.
Well, shot not falling, I think, is very relative. We say that today, but look at last game, he had 20 or so. So like I tell you guys, it's basketball. You're gonna make some, you're gonna miss some. But he has been really consistent over the past couple of months, and he's taken on this large role. Had to guard a lot of different positions, has to rebound the ball, and is scoring the ball and is shooting the ball at a pretty high rate this year. So I love what I'm seeing from him. I think he's been great all season.
It's pretty historic how doubled up the standings are right now.
Yeah.
Is it as simple for you guys as ignoring them and just knowing that if you guys put it together, they're so jumbled up that you guys just play your basketball you want?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. And we don't even have our full team yet. We're missing 1-2 of the best players in the league. These really, really good players. Campaign, Landry Shamet. That's a pretty good unit right there if you roll those 4 out plus any other fifth. I think we just got to keep doing what we're doing. Focus on concepts, not getting too loose, and staying locked into what we do. That's how we got a lot of wins last year, was we were very consistent with what we did. And I think if we keep that same mindset, we'll be all right.
You guys got the Mavericks.
Yeah.
I know it's the third time. Is there anything different about playing Mavericks now? What has gone on over the past couple?
Yeah, I think anytime somebody does that to you in a game 7 on your home court, you you feel some type of way just as a competitor, but also it is another game. You just have to have a high level awareness of their personnel, what they like to do, who their guys are. And just another game that we're going to come out and do our thing and compete. Every game at NBA is a fun opportunity, is the way you got to look at it.
Thanks, Cam.
Yep.
Thanks, sir.